State regime media known as Fox News, they're spiraling out of control and collapsing on live TV after that disastrous interview between Laura Ingraham, one of Fox propagandists, and Donald Trump, where Trump's like, we need to make sure we have 600,000 Chinese students over American students. And Trump's like, Americans can't work these factory jobs or high-skill jobs. They're not good enough. They're not smart enough. Fox had to go into cover-up mode. Now compound that with the release of the 20,000 Epstein emails, which are absolutely devastating for Donald Trump. Fox is an absolute mess. They don't know what to do. So let me just show you how they're trying to cover it up, the anatomy of the cover-up propaganda. So Laura Ingraham's like, look, what you observed in my interview with Donald Trump, look, at the end, he's a pragmatist. He's a populist, not a globalist. Here, play this clip.
So when you hear people dumping on this administration from the right, remember, Democrats believe you should get zero benefits from your American citizenship. Zero. Meanwhile, as we sit in our warm studios, and that's where I am, the president's trying to reindustrialize only the entire United States of America. That's all. And if you think Mamdani or the squad, they're going to stand up for you in their workers' garb and they're going to, in their shirt sleeves, get it all done. Maybe some of these mouthy new socialist primary candidates, they're going to get it done for you. Well, you haven't been listening to them. If you're a native-born American who grew up in something approaching a traditional household, they pity you at best and they loathe you at worst. So, there's always going to be disagreements on strategy and approach, and everybody should have their say. But to the more than 77 million Americans who voted for President Trump, don't flinch. No one's better at politics than he is. And in the end, he's a pragmatist and a populist. He's not a globalist and he's not a sellout. And that's the angle.
As we wrote on the MeidasTouch accounts, Fox thinks so little of their audience. Does MAGA realize they're being played? And then Laura Ingraham brings on Dr. Oz. Can't believe this guy's still in the government or is in the government at all to start with. And he's like, a concrete example of MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. It's what happened last Thursday. What do you mean? When Donald Trump was like sleeping for 20 minutes during the actual press conference? MAHA. MAHA. Here, play this clip.
And a concrete example of MAHA in action to me was what happened Thursday in the Oval Office, when the president presided over an effort that will allow all Americans to access these weight loss drugs at a price that is about a fifth, 20% of what the list price is today.
Then propagandist Laura Ingraham brings on Brooke Rollins, who they call on Fox Brookie. She's the Secretary of Agriculture, and she wants to just tell us how stupid she thinks we all are. And she's like, costs are coming down. They really are. Things are so much better. Things are so much cheaper, right, everybody? Wrong, Brookie. It's not true, Secretary Rollins. That ain't happening. Here, play this clip.
Yeah, it is. It's staggering and so discouraging. If you're a taxpayer and you're working hard every day and you're paying your taxes, and then you look and you see these stories of this fraud of people charging more than once. We found one guy in 6 states who was collecting in 6 different states under the same number. But again, if we hadn't asked for this data, and by the way, Laura, these are the red states that turn their data over. It is the blue states we're still trying to get data on. Can you imagine if this fraud is happening in the red states, what's happening in the blue states?
What are they hiding? What are they hiding?
I think they're buying their votes. They're trying to push as much of our taxpayer dollars into certain segments of the society in order to say, hey, we're here to help you. We're going to give you a lot of free stuff.
Dependency.
So vote for us. And it's dependency. Under President Trump, more jobs, better jobs. The economy is growing. We've got better take-home pay for the first time in at least 4 years, maybe more. Costs are coming down. And now it's time to get serious about these government programs, move people from welfare to work, and fundamentally change the trajectory of this country.
And illegal aliens should not be getting food stamps paid for by the American taxpayers. So I know that's 100%. Something
that's
you guys are working on as well.
List. That's
fantastic.
Right. And it's already illegal, but now we got to make sure that that's being implemented.
Now, this was chef's kiss. Our friend Stephanie Miller, you know her, you love her. She went on Sean Hannity, the belly of the beast, and she destroyed him. She used her appearance on Fox to make sure the Fox audience knew that Trump's name was all over those Epstein emails and all over the Epstein files, and Hannity was shaking in his boots. Here, play this clip.
I thought it was funny, but if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't think it was as funny. So, well done.
Thank you for being the only one on the right that gets the joke. Sean, it was a joke. And then, the funniest thing about this story is Trump's all over the Epstein files. And I wonder if they're going to release that after the big bombshell. I didn't see anything about that on Fox News today. Yeah. Okay. So let's release them. Let's release those files. Is this what passes for news? Is this what passes for news on Fox News?
Why did you kiss her feet?
More from Stephanie Miller right here. She absolutely crushed it. Hannity's like, when did you notice Biden's cognitive decline? Watch what she says. Play this clip.
I do have a question. I tried to get an answer out of you on radio. Okay. The question is, when did you notice Joe Biden's cognitive decline? And don't change the subject and deflect. When did you really notice it?
Well, I think it was through all of the times that Donald Trump has fallen asleep in public and talked about, magnets getting wet in the last few,
oh my gosh.
My mom had dementia, so I recognize it.
Stephanie, this is not, it's a very good deflection. You're a professional.
You know what else is great about Biden's decline is that Trump is all over the Epstein files. And I'm wondering if they're going to release those. Are you covering that tonight?
Not really, because the woman that apparently they're talking about is the one that said he was a gentleman and never did anything wrong. And the person that had a grudge was the guy that got thrown out of Mar-a-Lago 25 years ago. And by the way, when you get thrown out of a club in Palm Beach, Florida, that's kind of a big deal. And it's very humiliating and embarrassing. And he was a convicted pedophile. So I'm not exactly putting a lot of gospel truth in what he said.
Trump was mad that he was stealing his girls, but
Now that's how you done. Great work, Stephanie. Should I show you one more clip of Stephanie? Okay, we'll do one more clip. Here she is as Sean Hannity wants to attack California. Stephanie's like, the last time I checked, California is the 4th largest economy in the world. So shut up, Sean. You're play this clip.
And by the way, when you're out there in California where you live, the United Socialist Utopia, if you see Gavin, because Gavin doesn't like me anymore, you might want to tell him that fire hydrants need water. And reservoirs need to be
in our 4th largest economy in the world. I'll tell them,
maybe having the highest income taxes, sales taxes, gas taxes, and highest poverty rate, not great. That's why so many people are leaving.
Oh, really? Are they leaving for Florida, which is like last in everything? Because we're kind of first in everything in California.
I hate to tell you, no, actually, Florida's first in education, lowest in taxes, and over $1 trillion in migration money has moved to Florida. You guys have lost nearly $400 billion. But who's
you the 4th largest economy in the world, or are we? I forget.
You could thank Silicon Valley in spite of Gavin Newsom. That would be population size that he used to have.
Costs are seemingly going up, and it's easy to overestimate just how much things will cost these days. Now, did you know that 72% of Americans overestimate the actual cost of life insurance? Policy Genius makes finding and buying life insurance fast, easy, and surprisingly affordable. So if something happens to you, your loved ones have a financial safety net. With Policy Genius, real users have gotten 20-year, $2 million policies for just $53 a month. Policy Genius helps you compare your options by getting quotes from America's top insurers in just a few clicks to find coverage that fits your needs and your budget. You get to talk to a team of licensed agents who will walk you through the process step by step. They answer questions, handle paperwork, and advocate for you throughout the process. Policy Genius lays out all your options clearly. Coverage, amounts, price terms, no guesswork, just clarity. Life insurance is a form of financial planning, and Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace. Policy Genius has thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot from customers who found the best policy fit for their records. Secure your family's future with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/Meidas to compare life insurance quotes from top companies and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/Meidas.
All right. Remember, the propaganda needs to kick into overdrive, right? So they bring on Kash Patel, and Kash Patel, FBI director. Before getting the job as FBI director, he was a right-wing podcaster whose main shtick was release the Epstein files. Like that was his thing as a podcaster. K $, whatever his stupid logo was, released the Epstein files Patel. So he's brought in to be the FBI director. And so he knows, like, he's nervous. So he's like, Donald Trump is a great negotiator. Donald Trump is a really good negotiator. I'm looking at you. I promise you, I'm looking at you. I'm Cash Patel. Like, that's a good Cash Patel impression. Here, play this clip.
President Trump's a brilliant and master negotiator, and he's able not only to provide for the economic security of the American people, but he's out there defending the American citizens, the health of our children, and the future of our nation. Just last year, over 100,000 people died from drug overdoses, especially fentanyl.
You know, the audio listeners didn't appreciate that impression that I did of Cash Patel. They'll have to subscribe to YouTube. YouTube watchers, tell the audio that Ben just did a spot on Cash Patel. Then you have James Comer and Jim Jordan. They're on Hannity, I guess, as well. And here's what they have to say. Play this clip.
Anyone who dares work with a Republican or work with President Trump, if you're a Democrat, you're going to be Joe Manchin, you're going to be Kristen Sinema, you're going to be pushed out of the Democrat Party and replaced with a like-minded socialist like Ocasio-Cortez.
And then they bring in angry Stephen Miller, because after Stephanie Miller destroyed Donald Trump, they're like, all right, can we bring in Stephen Miller and maybe people will get confused between the two? No, we won't. And Stephen Miller's like, Donald Trump is bringing in $20 trillion. He's bringing in so much trillions of dollars, everybody. It's like, okay. No, he's not. He's crashing our economy. His trade war against the world has been an absolute disaster. Most of our economy is in a recession right now. We have a contracting GDP. We have 20 million Americans about to be kicked off of healthcare. And we have ICE Gestapo roaming the streets of this country right now, rounding people up and throwing them into concentration camps. Here, play this clip.
Think about the contrast, Sean. President Trump bringing trillions of investment into America, giving Americans trillions of dollars in tax cuts. And what do Democrats do in their big moment? They steal hardworking money from our taxpayers, they cancel their flights, and they destroy billions of dollars in economic value. You will not see a clear contrast. The Democrats are the party of destruction. President Trump is leading the party of creation, opportunity, and wealth.
Oh no, MAGA Mike. MAGA Mike, you're going to show up. So they bring in MAGA Mike, and MAGA Mike's like, everybody knows that Donald Trump worked around the clock to mitigate the pain of the American people. He's doing his best to stop the pain. He literally went to the Supreme Court to block SNAP payments to $42 million. MAGA Mike, here, play this clip.
And we'll be talking with the team. The president, as you know, has bent over backwards through this entire ordeal. In the longest shutdown in U.S. history, he worked around the clock every day to mitigate the pain, to reduce the pain as much as possible for the people. They found creative ways to get the troops paid, to keep women, infants, and children nutrition programs going, and all the rest. And so you'll see that same level of fervor. The entire cabinet, the entire administration is going to work around the clock to get the government open and operational again as quickly as possible. They'll do that as fast as we can. And of course, we'll give them every aid and assistance that we can out of the House and the Senate.
Then comes in Kristi Noem, Ice Barbie herself, the Homeland Security Secretary, who spent $200 million of our taxpayer dollars on private jets for her and Corey Lewandowski. Fantastic. Great work, Kristi Noem. And she's like, we have super secret plans for Chicago. The invasion is just starting. You don't even know what we're going to do. It's so incredible. Here, play this clip.
We're not going to just be in Chicago. We're spreading out to other cities and continuing to do our work. I won't talk about specific operations, but we're not going to give him any relief from his political rhetoric. We're going to be in there defending these families. The significant difference that we've made in public safety in Chicago is something that we need more in many more cities. So I'm so thankful for Border Patrol, thankful for ICE that they get up every single day and they go into these dangerous situations and they protect people.
All right. So then they have this show that they did on Fox, which is like the worst show ever. And it features VP J.D. Vance and RFK Jr. And like they're trying to pretend that they're like bros, right? They're like trying to bro out. And J.D. Vance is such like a phony. Like he's had like 3 different names. His entire life is one big fake, like 3 different personalities. When he was in like high school and growing up, he said he was gay. Then he doesn't like gay people. And then he says he's like Appalachian, hates Trump. Then he loves Trump and he has different names. Really, really strange, weird dude who's like, doesn't really know who he is. But anyway, he's like, so he like leans back. He's like, did you see Donald Trump in the Oval Office with the leader of Syria? And he was like, how many wives do you have? And there was like a meta joke. Like the joke was meta. It was on so many levels and it was so funny. Dude, you're not funny. I don't know what the hell this is. You're a weird human being, JD. Like, you are a truly weird human. Here, play this clip.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw this video circulating on social media, but, you know, the president met the president of Syria, al-Shara, in the Oval Office a couple of days ago. And, you know, he asked him, he's like, well, how many wives do you have? And it's just like, oh, what an amazing question. Amazing comedic timing. There are layers to it. There's like a meta humor to it. It's just, anyway, you know, but we got a lot of good humor in the cabinet.
And then in response to that, I won't do my RFK impression. Okay. I won't do the RFK impression. Then RFK responds and he's like, the great thing about Donald Trump is he bulldozes the Overton window every day. Just so you know, if you don't know what the Overton window is, it's like a philosophical concept about what's acceptable behavior. So RFK Jr. is saying that the fact that he bulldozes the Overton window of democracy and that he just destroys agencies and destroys departments, that's what RFK likes about him. Here, play this clip.
And now we're working for a president who just takes a bulldozer to Overton windows and does that, like, shocks us every day, and then we go, okay, well.
That's exactly right. That is a good summary of Donald J. Trump, is that he takes a bulldozer to Overton windows every single day.
Okay, there you have it. That's state regime media in action for you. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks for watching.
New Meidas merch. Head to store.MeidasTouch.com today and get yourself the best pro-democracy gear and show your support. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.